Hey guys, welcome in this new video. I hope that all of you are doing great. So in this video, I want to share with you guys a bit more about my story and how I went from being completely addicted to video games to actually trading full-time and changing my life completely. So it's a really personal video, I would say, right? Like I'm really going to talk about more, what I've been through and stuff like that. And the reason why I wanted to record this video today is really just to share this with you guys. I think that it could be helpful and maybe even bring you some inspiration depending on where you're at with your life. So I just felt like sharing this today. So just before that we start, as always guys, feel free to drop a like on the video. I would really appreciate it, and make sure as well that you are subscribed to the channel if it's not already done. So let's get right to it. So I started to play video games when I was really young. I was probably like 4 to 5 years old, and I've been playing video games essentially for almost all my life, right? And it was a really big part of my life. Like that's all I cared about. I was of course going to school. I had a few friends and stuff like that. But really most of my free time was just about playing video games. This is where I felt the most comfortable in. And I was really insecure when I was younger. I was really shy as well. So as I said, I did have a few friends, but overall I was not really the most social person. And I was essentially going to school and playing video games, right? That was essentially my life for a long time. And as I was growing up, I kind of started to realize the impact that this had on me. And essentially, right, I started to have some interest as well in business and trading and stuff like that, right? So I started my first, let's say, business when I was, I think, 14 years old. And it just didn't work, essentially, right? Just to make it simple. I tried 2 other ideas after that and they also didn't work. So essentially, right, for almost 1 year, I was trying to find myself in this entrepreneurship journey. And I think that one of the main reasons why all of these ideas did not really work is simply because I was not really focused. I'll be honest with you guys. I didn't care that much about it at the end of the day, I think. And I was paying a lot more attention to my video games and to the levels that I wanted to accomplish in there. And essentially, right, that's probably one of the reasons why, as I said, it didn't work. And once I kind of had this realization of, my ideas were probably not that bad. It's mostly because of myself. I was like, I really need to make a change. And so essentially around the same time is when I discovered trading. And when I got into trading, I made this decision, I made this commitment, okay, that I would stop playing video games and that I would focus strictly on trading. So did it work? Okay, did I really stop to play video game from that point and focus on trading? The answer is no, okay? It didn't work at the beginning, all right? So for the first year, I was learning how to trade. I was watching YouTube videos. I was reading articles and stuff like that. So I was really focusing on trading actually, right? Like it was totally different than the focus that I had for my other ideas before. I was actually being focused this time on trading, but not at 100%. I was still playing a lot of video games and I was still trying to fight, this urge of getting this dopamine, right, from video games. And I was not really able to do this, okay? So it was really hard. And it was a really tough situation for me at that time because I was in high school. I had tried a few different business ideas. None of them really worked. A lot of people were laughing at me. A lot of people were criticizing me. And I was starting to get even more anxious. I was starting to get, a lot less comfortable than what I already was around other people. And I wanted to leave video games, right? Because I really wanted to succeed in trading, but at the same time, it was kind of the place where I was comfortable. And it was just a really hard situation, okay? Like it was probably one of the lowest point in my life. This kind of transition that I had to make to go into really trading and focus and get results for the first time in something. It was really hard, guys, and it's probably the place where I could have given up. And I thought about giving up, very often, right? But I just didn't quit. And the reason why I didn't quit is simply because I think I had a real passion for trading. I really had a strong interest in it. And that's also part of the reason why I've been doing this for 7 years now and why I still love it as much as I did at the beginning, right? So I've always had this kind of passion and this drive to learn how to trade. And it is really something that actually helped me to simply keep on going over time. But essentially it was really hard. And at some point, right, after about 1 year, I met my first mentor. And with this mentor, right, I was growing with him. We went to Montreal. I met other mentors. We went to different trading events and stuff like that, right? If you guys follow me on Instagram, right, you probably saw, you know, some of these things, right, happening over time. And essentially, right, after that, I became profitable in a couple of months, actually. And the reason why, I think, is simply because I finally had access to the right information, right? And that's also part of the reason why I always talk about finding yourself a mentor and learning from someone who know what they're doing, right? It's really important because that's what I did. And I spent 1 year basically of no progress at all. Then I met my mentor, and then in about 3 to 4 months, I became profitable. So I was like, wow, it's insane, right? How much it can change your life when you just have the right information. And so that's also the reason why, you know, 7 years down the line, right, well, I have our mentorship program, right? And that's the reason why I work with almost 300 people at this point, and that I've taught all of these people how to trade. It's simply because I've been able to have access to this kind of information, which just changed my trading. And my goal is just to give this back as much as possible, right? And that's also the reason why I'm recording these free videos for you guys, right? I just want to share with you as much as I can. So essentially, right, that's the idea. And so I became profitable. And when I became profitable, this is kind of what started to make the separation a bit more naturally from video game to trading, simply because now that I was getting some results in trading, now that I had a pretty good idea of what I was doing, I was getting the same kind of, feeling of happiness, if you want, right, that I was getting previously with video games, but this time I was getting it with trading. And so this made the transition much easier, right? But as I said, it took me a long time, right, to get to this point, because, you know, if we just roll back a bit, right, as I said, my first real kind of business idea was when I was 14 years old. And I became profitable at 16, okay? So from the point of telling myself, okay, I need to stop playing video games to actually stop playing video games, it took me like 2 years, okay? And so that's why I said that it was really not easy, right? I really wanted to do this, but I just could not do it, right? I just didn't have the discipline. I just didn't have the focus, right, to actually make this change. And it was a really hard time. And as I said, right, a lot of people didn't really support me. A lot of people laughed at me. People were criticizing me, right? They would say things like, oh, Anthony, you will never succeed in this. It's not going to work, right? Like, why are you talking in English when here in Quebec we talk in French, right? You're looking like a clown, right? I was getting all of these negative comments, you know, and it was a really hard moment for me, as I said, right? Like, because I knew what I wanted to do. I really had a drive for that, but I was trying to remove all these bad habits at the same time of my own things not working and people laughing at me, right? So it was definitely not easy. And as I said, right, I really had to go through this. But today I'm so grateful that all of these things happened, because I think that these events made me who I am today, and they made me stronger, right? They helped me to eventually get good results. And they just built my mindset, and it helped me to become more independent and to take care of myself, right? And that's one thing that is important to understand, right? No one is going to give you success in this life, right? So you have to go and get it, right, if you want. And so essentially, right, once I kind of learned about this, right, it just helped me to just change my life. And it's also one of the most important lessons that I could share with you guys, right? Like, you really have to go and get what you want, right? You cannot just wait around and, just think that it will magically happen, right? You need to take action, and you need to go straight to what you want if you eventually, want to succeed, right? And so essentially that's the idea. So after that, as I said, I became profitable. I was able to slowly but surely quit my addiction to video games, because trading was taking a bigger part now in my life. And after that, right, I started, as I said, our mentorship program. And since then, I have completely removed my addiction from video game. And, I'll be honest with you guys, right? I don't hate video games. I'm not against that, right? Sometimes, once in a while, with friends, right, I will play a video game, right? But I don't have this addiction, right, anymore. I don't have this need of playing video games. And it's really just a hobby that I will do, once in a while, and not something that takes a huge part of my life, right? And I've just been able, because of that, to transform my life. And I know that a lot of people have this addiction or another type of addiction, right? Whether it's video game or food, right? Or whatever it could be, right? There are many different forms of addictions that we could have. And I know that it can be really hard to change that, right? And as I said, the first step, if you want, of being able to change an addiction is to really realize that you have one, right? It's to accept the fact that you are addicted to something, right? And then it's to try to find different ways on how you can replace this addiction with something else, and basically just being patient in the process, right? And taking the time to actually go about it. And if you really have a strong desire, just like I had, I do believe that anyone can change their life, whether it's about an addiction or even something else, right? Whether, let's say that you don't have much money, right? If you really have a strong desire to make a lot of money, right? And you take action to actually go about it, you can definitely change your life. I think everyone can do it. It's really more about the mindset than anything else. So essentially that's the idea. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was more, as I said, kind of a personal one. I wanted to share with you guys a bit more about what I've been through and, you know, what were my emotions and all of this and stuff like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you found some inspiration as well in it. If you liked it, feel free to drop a like, as I said, and make sure you share it around. And on that, take care, trade with care, manage your money well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.